Armour Era Digital Laboratory has developed a new, fully digital work protocol in order to make aesthetic restorations. Armour Era called this protocol Natura. Dr. Hajto is writer of Anterior's book and owner of a dental clinic that is specialized on aesthetic dentistry. His clinic is in Munich at Breinerstrasse. Dr. Hajto is passionate about nature and believes that aesthetic comes from nature. Main idea of Natura is using natural teeth forms. Armour Era included Hajto models to the digital library. When Meki approached me and offered me to do an aesthetic case with the Natura protocol, I felt very honoured and was at once curious to see how far it is possible to accomplish such a case with a lab in a different country. I was expectant to learn how the acceptance of my patient would be.
İlk Natura vakamızı Dr. Hajto ile yapmamız
It was
gerçekten
very
çok önemli.
important for us to
Doğal
make
dişleri
the first
yıllar boyunca
Natura
bekliyoruz.
case with Dr. Hajto. He has documented natural teeth for many years. He also has very high standards on aesthetic. This experience would be a real test for Natura. In my office, I usually work with our dental technicians in our own lab. They also work very closely with the patient. And as I had never worked with Mujahid before and he is 2,000 kilometers away, it was fascinating to see how good the result we achieved would be. But I absolutely wanted to try this in order to learn how well my anterioris tooth shapes could be realized on a patient with using the latest CAD/CAM technology. At the first appointment, I did what I always did. I did a consultation for Sarah and listened to her wishes and her ideas. We selected some tooth shapes together. This is always the starting point for such a treatment, that we try to understand which teeth the patient perceives as beautiful and that we communicate it to the lab. In this case, I sent the photographs and information to Armour Era. Especially in this case, it emerged that it would be necessary to increase the vertical dimension of the occlusion. Therefore, I did an intraoral scan in that position, so that this could be respected accordingly in the wax-up.
Gelen fotoğraflar ile gülüş tasarımı
We made
protokolüne göre
smile
planlamamız
design
yaptık.
planning with the help of photos and video. This plan guides us to create 3D wax-up design. We shared 3D STL files with Dr. Hajto for his review via Dropbox. When I was shown the virtual wax-up, I had the feeling that one tooth could be rotated a bit more labially. Then I showed it to Mujahid on TeamViewer and explained to him why I believed that it would look more natural. Another thing particular to this case was the fact that the wax-up ended up somewhat inside the original tooth surface. We had to take this into account later.
Çok heyecanlıyım. 3 boyutlu yazıcımızı kuralı daha
I
2 gün
am
oldu.
very
Dr.
excited.
Hajto'nun
Our
wax
3D printer was installed just 2 days ago. Now we have printed Dr. Hajto's wax-up that is designed by using F8 model. It is time to see the result on Sarah's mouth. At the second appointment, the wax-up is to be applied in Sarah's mouth in order to evaluate it in place. In this particular case, her own teeth stuck out a bit outside of the wax-up. The color-coded 3D image shows to me how much I need to remove and at which area. Thus, I had to remove some tooth substance beforehand in order to apply the matrix precisely. And for wax-up, I personally prefer transparent, very precise silicone matrices. That allows me to check for an exact positioning if some areas of the teeth still touch on the inside. Sarah liked wax-up. The only change she asked was to reduce waves on incisal edge. Dr. Hajto scanned wax-up, prepared teeth and scanned prepped teeth also. Scanned data was at Mujahid's hands in a few minutes.
Simantasyon öncesi 3 günümüz var. Artık tüm
We have
parametreler
3
belli.
days to
Tek
produce
yapmamız
final
gereken
restorations
mock-up
before
taraması ile
cementation.
kesim taramasını arasındaki
We have
farkı
all the
yazmayız.
parameters in our
İşi
hand.
şansa bırakmadan çalışabiliriz.
It is a very big luxury to be able to work without letting any space to chance.
Bu sayede orijinal
There is no porcelain add-on to laminates. Thus we are able to keep the original form. Stain and glaze are used for finishing laminates.
Bereits beim dritten Besuch konnte ich die Arbeit einsetzen. Dadurch, dass
Already
wir
at
so
the
gründlich
third appointment,
vorgearbeitet
I
haben,
was
so
able
viel
to cement the
Informationen
restorations.
hat das Labor
Because we had thoroughly prepared the case and communicated everything, the lab had all the necessary information, and I was really amazed how fast the restorations were produced within a few days.
Bereits beim dritten Besuch konnte ich die Arbeit
The
einsetzen.
result really
Dadurch,
convinced me.
dass wir so gründlich
Sarah
vorgearbeitet
was
haben,
super
so viel
happy with the work.
Informationen übermittelt
And
haben,
what becomes obvious again is the fact that the natural tooth shapes alone make such a huge difference, that even with monolithic work with just a bit of surface staining, a very aesthetic and natural effect was achieved. I recommend to you all to test it and work with a Natura system.